4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka. Phenomena. Tiptoe through the tulips with me.
You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to...
This one's explosive.
It's time to crash the party of lies. Fitting some truth on for size. It's TSR's bizarre array of a little funny and paracray.
You're listening to Talk Supernatural Radio, where we truthcast live from the U.S. to the U.K., up north to down under, Rhode Island to Easter Island, Mudhole, Florida to Hope You Like It, Georgia. And if you're listening, you are right where you're supposed to be.
The views and opinions and personalities expressed on this show are those solely of TSR and do represent who we are and what we believe. If you don't like satire, if you find rabbit trailing annoying, if you don't like to laugh, if you can't handle the truth, do not listen to this show. We are not responsible for your nightmares, denial issues, bleeding ears, or annoyance. But if you're good with all that, then thanks for listening. We are Scott and Heidi Linden live once again to give you what you want. Truth, satire, repeat. We're going to expose untruths and kick denial in the face. We're airing bizarre reality with news, laughs, facts, experiences, stories, and words for you to live right by.
You see your face, you're ready to lick the mic. Oh, it's again another TSR weekend. It is Saturday night, and we did not do live Friday night because we had some stuff going on, but I hope everyone had a rockin' week. But I guess we're going to start out with some hate mail, and we're going to do a shout-out, too.
You didn't...
So I didn't tell you.
You didn't tell me about the hate mail.
I know. Surprise, surprise.
I hate you, everything about you. Don't want to be in love with you no more. I hate you, 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 I hate you,
I almost hate saying I like hate mail just to listen to that
I just
music.
I just read your hate mail up ahead. Oh, man.
This is from Chad. This is from Chad from Paterson, New Jersey. He writes, I listen to your show and think you should lay off the acid. You think you're spreading truth, but you're causing people to panic with your pro-spiritual crap and conspiracy propaganda. Just stop. Make the world a more stable place and talk about real issues.
Well, Chad, if you think this world is a stable place, you are part of the problem.
And what would be real issues in Chad's
what's real
view?
issues?
I would like to know.
Maybe he needs to know what the Kardashians are doing today.
They're eating green pudding or something? What is that?
Well, they didn't know what guacamole was, so it was avocado pudding. We don't always enjoy the information we find out.
But someone's got to say it.
We find this out, and for us, we're like, what? Really? I mean, even we have a lot of experiences in the supernatural side of it, and I have the interest in the conspiracy side of it. And it doesn't mean I'm like, oh, look at this is so cool. It's kind of like, okay, well, here you go, folks. You should know. You can research, and we always try to provide people with links
on
and
our
ways
Facebook
of
page.
finding everything so that we're not making it up. And people email us back and say, wow, I did check it out, because they were in denial, and they're like, it's true. I'm like, yeah, well, it's better to have the facts and have the information than to run around like a dummy and say that's not true. Because if there was anything that you could do for yourself about any of these things, you would like to have the opportunity, the chance to say, at least I knew about it and I was able to kind of look out for it or not get myself involved in it or whatever, you know.
Well, and the thing is, too, I think all these real issues, they're on every single channel on the radio, every single channel on TV. We're talking about issues that you don't normally hear because, I mean, everything in life to us is spiritual anyway. So we try to tie spiritual or supernatural into everything.
It is all tied together.
Right.
It really is. And this episode not being any different from the rest, even though the topic's different.
Exactly. So, Chad, thanks for the comment. I appreciate you allowing us to play our I Hate You segment. Not everybody has to like us.
No,
so
you don't have to
it's
like us.
okay.
You can just change channel. Just turn us off. That's all you got to do. It's not hard.
Unless you listen one time, then we're always in your head. So, but you know what's cool? Tammy from Texas would disagree with Chad because Tammy from Texas says, I love this show. Every Saturday I kick back and listen and laugh and learn stuff I never knew. Sometimes I'm familiar with your topics, but you pose them in a way I never thunk. That's a fun word, thunk. Heidi, when you laugh, I laugh, and a lot of times I don't even know why we're laughing. Ha ha. Scott's impressions crack me up too. Just love the two of you. Keep on going. Full steam ahead. Thank you.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
So thanks, Tammy from Texas. Woo-woo. All right. So it is time for this week's news. We'll do news before we get into our topic.
Interesting. Headlines.
All right, so we are going to do some news this past week. What's one creature that freaks you out? Like grosses you out or creeps you out?
Well, I have a thing with centipedes. I don't like centipedes.
And I know that.
I hate them.
Yeah.
Ill.
Yeah. And I wish you guys one day could see Scott. He does this whole like crazy Willy thing when he sees a centipede. we don't see him often, but when we do, and then I say, Scott, there's a centipede, he goes, ugh! And he does this whole body shaking thing. It's really funny.
Gross.
So, I can't think of anything that sort of grosses me out. Like dead animals gross me out. Not live. Like roadkill sort of grosses me out, but nothing alive. But you know, like some people are afraid of snakes or spiders. And I'm not afraid of snakes. I think snakes are sort of cool. Except for the poisonous ones.
Well, they're cool, too.
They're cool looking.
But you don't give them a kiss or anything.
Right. I wouldn't mind handling a regular snake. I like snakes, so they're cool. And they're actually, some people are afraid of cats. I know the Egyptians used to be afraid of cats. They thought they were like some kind of dead, crazy thing. I don't know. And some people don't like mice. And this story is about rats. Because in India, a whole temple is dedicated to black rats.
Good idea.
Yeah, approximately 20,000 rats.
Perfect.
They're fed sugar, coconut, and rum because they
I
catered.
knew them people were a little mousy.
That's so late. All right. So, okay, check this out. So the Karni Mata temple houses all these rats. They are believed to be the reincarnated sons of the Hindu sage Karni Mata. Or Mata, yeah. And I'll put the video link up on our Facebook page. These rats are like in this crazed food manic, and then they're passed out from rum. It's so funny. I guess it's considered an honor to share the food that is already nibbled on by these rats.
Excellent idea.
And I saw these pictures and the video and stuff, and us being parents, I see these little kids, 3 and 4, eating the same food.
Oh, yeah.
Rats have a lot of diseases,
Yeah.
right?
It's all,
Oh.
my religion's weird.
I think it's
okay.
too.
Yeah, this is all perfect. This is exactly what you should do at home.
I know it's terrible. Not exactly. Oh, that's horrible. All right. So here's another story. This one, because I can relate, because I had a couple surgeries recently, and so this woman secretly recorded her doctors as they operated on her. Her name's Ethel Easter. She's 44. And one day she suffered from more than 100 abdominal attacks within 24 hours. That would freak anybody out, right? Okay.
Serious.
So she goes in.
It's pretty much nonstop.
Yeah. Well, her stomach
24
became.
hours.
I know. Yeah. Straight. Oh my gosh.
That's bad.
And when you're in that kind of pain for so long, that's going to wipe you out. Her stomach was bruised and she had blood in her urine. So this was all caused by a hernia, I guess, because she goes into the doctor, and so he says, you're going to have to see a specialist or surgeon because you're going to have to get this out. So she goes to this specialist, and she's in excruciating pain, and he says, well, yeah, you're going to have surgery, but you're going to have to wait 2 months. And she's like, I can't wait 2 months. I'm in pain. And I can imagine,
Right.
Because like you were saying earlier, the pain's different for everybody.
The tolerance, exactly.
Tolerance,
we don't know
yeah.
what she could, just because the doctor might feel, I've seen this lots of times, probably, and people
probably
can
has.
we'll get it in 2 months, but maybe she hasn't had, or maybe for her it's just really painful. Neither to say. 100 pains in one day and blood in the urine. I would think it's pretty serious. We need to do something about it pretty darn quick. And so if she displays a poor attitude about that, I would understand that. And sometimes I've met lots of different people, and sometimes personalities just clash. You don't understand. One person could talk and say, well, I ain't doing that or this or that. It doesn't mean they're that angry or that upset or that. Just the way they talk.
Right.
You just don't know, unless you're there and you know that person. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, so now he says you got to wait 2 months, and so she sort of complains, and he somehow gets her in a month. So he must have compromised there. So now, okay, so in the meantime, she goes to see her family doctor for pain management or whatever. And I don't know why her family doctor does this, but he sets off red flags here by telling her, well, that surgeon wrote in his notes here that, you were showing a bad attitude and you're a concerned patient and stuff. And so now she's like panicking. She's like, oh, great, this guy's going to, do surgery.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Like when
okay, so the surgeon doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, knock me out. Let me give him the knife.
That's why you always want to be nice when you go into fast food places because you don't know what they're doing. Yeah, spit on your food. Yeah, I guess any restaurant.
The last thing you do, lesson of life, do never be rude to those who are serving you food or are going to cut you with a knife. Even if you don't like them.
That's a TSR tip 101.
Just pretend to like them.
Yeah. So, okay, so now she's freaking out. So what does she do? She decides to record her operation. She gets this recorder that's the size of a flash drive and hides it in her weave and puts her hair up in a ponytail. Yeah. So she tells him, he asks her, do you have any allergies or whatever? She says, well, when I was little, I swelled up and got a rash from penicillin. Okay, so she hears him telling the other doctors, well, it's okay, it's not enough. The rash and swelling isn't enough to be worried about, so you can go ahead and give her little doses of penicillin. So now she's like, oh my gosh. So then she hears the doctor bad-mouthing her to the surgical staff. He starts telling them that she had a bad attitude and all the things she said. And then and this is all while he's doing surgery on her. And then he makes fun of her belly button, and everyone's laughing. He called her a handful. And he referred to her as the queen. And then they talked about how bad they felt for her husband. He referred to her as precious, which a few times, actually. And she says she feels it's referring to a movie about an African-American obese woman who was raped by her family. I don't know if that's what he meant but, so she's like all upset. Then this is the big part. The anesthesiologist and the surgeon are discussing touching her. And she hears when they ask, should I touch her? And he's like, no, I can touch her or whatever. And you hear someone say, that's a Bill Cosby suggestion. And then you hear someone else say, everybody's got things on phones these days. Everybody's got a camera. And then you hear the surgeon ask a couple times, do you have photos? And then they respond and you don't really know what they're saying. And then they hear, well, I thought about it, but I didn't do it. Right there, that's scary.
Photos
thinking
of
about
what?
that. Well, that's the thing. Well, they talk about it after they talk about touching her and her body, and so she's like, oh my gosh. And then the surgeon's actually talking on his cell phone, having a regular conversation with somebody while he's performing the surgery. And then when she wakes up from the surgery, she's feeling itchy and stuff, and they don't really do anything about it, and it must have been a day surgery because they send her home. And that night, her husband has to take her to the ER because she's got a really bad rash and she has trouble breathing.
Yeah, it's for some people. If you're allergic to something, it doesn't matter if it's a bee or penicillin, the reaction can be the same. You could swell your throat shut and you could not breathe and die.
And
she
was treated for allergic reaction. So yeah, she sends a letter to the hospital telling them everything that she heard on the thing and to complain. And they basically like blew it off. They sent her a letter back 2 weeks later saying, well, we checked into it and we talked to them and it's not enough to do anything about. And so I don't know what's going to happen. She says she's not going to sue, but she might because they're not going to do anything about it.
For some of the stupid things that people sue for and get away with that should have never been allowed, she's got the right.
Oh, yeah, she should sue. I totally would because, I mean, it's good that social media has got the story out, you know. But and then there was a side story to this about a while back an anesthesiologist was also recorded making fun of a patient's their body or something. And that anesthesiologist got sued and they got the person got like $500,000. So, I mean, I think she's got a good case. But,
yeah.
Whew, crazy. Okay, so, you know the show Pawn Stars? Those guys that pawn everything. Okay, so Chum Lee, that goofy, the overweight Pawn Star employee guy, he's facing 20 drug, weapon, and assault charges. So he's been arrested. First, he was sought out for a sexual assault, I guess, on I think it was a woman that worked at the pawn shop. And so they were trying to find him, and they couldn't find him, and they went to his home with a search warrant, and they ended up finding 12 guns, and some of those were
assault rifles.
Yeah. And they found a bunch of drugs. There were multi-dose bars of Xanax and methamphetamine. How do you say that word? Methamphetamines?
Oh, you're asking me?
Drugs.
Methamphetamines.
Amphetamines. I don't even know. Some kind of drugs.
Amphetamines.
Well, the cops are suspecting him to be a drug dealer on the side of being a pawn shop guy because they said the way between the guns and between the bars of drugs that he had, that's something a drug dealer would do. So, Chum Lee be in trouble. Okay,
happens.
So now this Sandy Hook lawsuit. Okay, so unfortunately, I hate talking about this because I'm a mom, but you remember the Newton, Connecticut shooting in 2012, the Sandy Hook Elementary School, where there were 20 children and 6 teachers were killed. A man unloaded 154 rounds from an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle and, killed all those people. And it's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, which I want to just say on a little Heidi side note that a lot of people think that had to do with a government thing because of some weird stuff that happened after that. So that it was a, the government soldier, Manchurian candidate kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know about that, but it's interesting. So anyways... So 2 of the victims' parents filed a lawsuit against the Bushmaster Firearms and their parent company, Remington Firearms. They're suing the gun companies. And one of the filers said that his goal is to make sure no more parents or families have to endure what they did. That's not possible. And what? First of all,
guns don't kill people.
People
kill people with guns.
And now I understand. Now, this has been years. This was in 2012. And I understand they're grieving.
Well, absolutely.
And I cannot even imagine. So I'm not trying to badmouth these people. But you cannot sue a gun company and think that that's going to make anything right. There's other gun companies. And
the fact is you can build your own guns. And there's so many guns out there that are unregistered. It doesn't really matter where does it has end? Them, where they're at. It's not going to stop them. And
then one of the attorneys said that our families deserve that day in court. No, the day in court is when this person who did this, I don't even know if that person died, if they killed themselves or if they're in jail. I don't remember now, but because it was a while ago. But that is who you should be angry at, the person that did it, not the gun companies. But here's the thing. The judge ruled that the lawsuit is valid because the manufacturer, he says, his quote, manufacturers should know that their product are likely to be used in a way that risks injury to others. Well, that's what a gun does. Okay, so where does this end? It's going to set a precedent that would allow anyone to sue any company because they know or should know that their product can be used to harm others. So we're going to sue McDonald's. Well, they were sued for hot chocolate. They can't make hot chocolate anymore because it's going to burn other people. Or sue Ford because they know cars can get in car accidents and kill people.
Yeah.
Or Hostess can't make cupcakes anymore because they're going to make people fat. I mean, come on. Where is this going to end?
It's like
knife companies and
that people are not supposed to have responsibility anymore, or not supposed to be responsible for their own actions, and so you blame the manufacturer. I mean,
yeah, I just don't.
I mean, we can sue everybody. We can say, well, you sell Valium, you sell these different products across the counter, and somebody takes too many and dies. Well, let's just sue the manufacturer. They should
'Cause
know that.
they
If they're
should
gonna
know.
make these drugs. The potential of somebody taking too many and killing himself was there. So what were you thinking? Well, they weren't supposed to, but they weren't supposed to get a gun and kill somebody either.
I know. So that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
that's ridiculous.
where do you end? You do, you know.
Oh, I can't believe it. Okay.
I think if you, I don't know, stricter laws on the punishment. You know,
Right.
These people get 20 years in this or that, or they're just weird people and.
Well, there's
There's
countries
some
that chop off
countries-
your head.
yeah, chop off
your arm.
Check your hand out. You'd steal. Okay, well, take a couple fingers off. Now you won't do
They
that.
don't have too many thieves in those countries
No, they don't.
because they know they're serious.
I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you should chop off
I'm
thieves'
just
hands.
saying it's sometimes the punishments don't fit the crime, and whatever.
And sometimes the lawsuits don't fix the problem. So, okay, update on the Slender Man case. 13-year-old Morgan Geyser and 14-year-old Annalise Weyer, they are seeking their release Friday morning after nearly 2 years in custody, saying that they are no longer dangerous and can return to their family. So if you guys don't know about the Slender Man case, we know it well because it's actually like an hour from our house. In 2014, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, 2 6th graders obsessed with the fictional horror character Slender Man, they plotted and carried out this plan to kill their classmate. They stabbed her 19 times and left her for dead, all to appease this fictional character Slender Man. And we've had.
Tell me they're gonna let these kids go?
No, they're not going to let him go. That's the story. The judge set a $500,000 bail, and he denied they want it to be lowered, or they want the trial to be dismissed for time served. But he's saying no way because of the severity of the crime. And these kids are getting help, but these parents are like, oh, this is ridiculous. You guys are failing our kids. They need to be in a hospital. But the thing is, they are getting treated, and they did do a crime. I personally, we've had a podcast on this case in the past, and by the pictures they've drawn and the things they said, they are not all there. I don't know if it was spiritually oppressed, demonically led.
We went over this case, and there's no doubt there's a whole lot more influence going on, and I think this has to be approached from more than just a medical viewpoint or a judicial system viewpoint, but also maybe a spiritual viewpoint too, because what took place and all this, we don't want to go to the whole thing again because you can always go back and look it up and listen to our podcast, but it definitely had spiritual. So until you know that somehow spiritually they've been removed from this course of action, and who's to say they could be perfectly normal right now, come back out, spend a couple months out on the outside
doing it again,
and then the devil always likes to come back and use what worked before. Yeah. It's like, well, just use what worked before. Yeah. It's like, well, that worked before. We'll just do it again. And then again, maybe nothing. But they do have to answer for their crime. I mean, this girl lived, and these kids were young, and there's just no way their mentality of it all that could have been any type of normal behavior.
No.
I guess I don't have a good answer of what should be done with them. Sending them in prison the rest of their lives, no, but they need to go to.
They need help.
They need help, and they need to be part of some sort of system to allow them to continue to grow and out of this. And
I wish there were more spiritual counseling things that would talk about the roots of spiritual oppression, the occult ties to this. I mean, and the dangers of it. That's why we try to do a lot of our podcasts, just to teach that. Because, okay, so another story.
While we're on acid, Chad.
The Zika virus, the CDC is coming out saying it is more dangerous than they anticipated. Oh. Surprise, surprise.
What happens when you let stuff loose?
CDC has come out warning that this virus is scarier than we thought. That's their quote.
I let a rabid dog out and he bit somebody. Oh, imagine that.
In fact, I infected him. Obama is seeking from Congress $1.9 billion to help fight it.
We'll just crap that out of our pocket now, won't we?
But Dr. Ann, I don't even know how to pronounce her last name, Dr. Ann Schuchart is the principal deputy director of the CDC. She says most of what we learned is not reassuring. There are 354 known or acknowledged cases in the U.S., and it's being said to be sexually transmitted as well. And the CDC is concerned because of the mosquito infestation coming this summer. So some politicians are accusing the CDC and so forth of creating a panic for no reason. But So, I mean, do you think...
Can't we just fix the problem?
Well, they created the problem for whatever reason. And so it's like, are they trying to clean up their mess, or is this part of their plan? Or because, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, we talked about the Zika virus in a past episode.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's because you're not listening. You need to listen.
Okay, so, all right, so tonight we are actually going to be talking about artificial intelligence. That's our topic tonight. Good idea, bad idea? Do we even know enough about it to make a logical opinion, right? So here's a little clip. Remember that movie I, Robot with Will Smith?
Yep.
So here's a little...
Will Smith!
Will Smith.
We designed them to be trusted with our homes, with our way of life, with our world. But did we design them to be trusted?
I miss the good old days.
What good old days?
When people were killed by other people.
Dr. Lanning suggested robots might naturally evolve.
Why didn't you just hand the world over on a silver platter?
Maybe we did.
Huh. Fascinating. Isn't it always interesting that if we can go back, and maybe one episode we'll do that and just kind of give you a list of all the things that were talked about or done in movies in Hollywood 5, 10, 15 years beforehand, and then they actually come to pass to be a level of truth.
Yeah.
And
they tie that into the Illuminati, saying the Illuminati is part of Hollywood, the powerful people, and then they're part of the government, and it's all generated that way.
It's almost like laughing in our face. Like,
Yeah.
we're actually going to make a movie about it. And do you remember that movie with Dustin Hoffman years ago? It was like Pandemic or something with the monkey and all that.
Mm-hmm. That's
everyday occurrence now. Yeah, we
true.
build some disease. We throw it out here. We throw it out there. We watch everybody die and go, interesting.
Manchurian Candidate that we talk about.
Yeah.
That was,
that was released how many years back? And
Yep.
it's like, and now that we're going to be going over what we're going to go over right now, that Manchurian Candidate thing, it's so there.
Oh, yeah. It's obvious.
It's so there.
Oh, all right. So
And it's been there, actually, too. It's been there for quite a while. So, will we ever know enough about it? Now, to the average person like you and I, all we really know is that what we see on TV and what they tell us. Our lack of knowledge in this really makes us very vulnerable. Heidi, play the clip.
Terminator.
Man, machine. Terminator. Underneath it's a hyperalloy combat chest. Microprocessor controlled. Fully armored. Very tough. But outside it's living human tissue.
They cannot make things like that yet.
Not yet. Not for about 40 years.
Are you saying it's from the future?
Yeah.
40 years. That's about 40 years ago.
I know. That's what's funny. And you're talking about Hollywood.
In about 40 years, yeah. Because that was built, that movie was done in the 80s.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not quite 40 years, but
Close.
Close enough.
I think it's funny.
Yeah. He meant it when he said, I'll be back.
Yeah. I don't know. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. But, if you're under a rock and living in a bubble, okay, we now have sophisticated, artificially intelligent android robots. Google has these AI robot systems, and it's by Boston Dynamics, and they're funded by DARPA. Their operating system is Android, and it has this Terminator-like look where they're fleshly looking, and it's ridiculous. And we're watching these clips. You can go on YouTube and you can look these robots up, and they're flaunting them, and they're like so proud of their creation. But the one that we watched, and we're going to put the clips up, the links up on our Facebook page, is where this one has a glitch.
Yeah, and it says when the thing says it will destroy humans.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, because of the way it was said to them, they were like, okay, yes, I'll destroy humans.
Yeah. He's like, please say you won't destroy humans. And then it says, okay, I will destroy all humans. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. And they all laugh. And it's like, okay, that's not funny. This robot in this clip that we watched, her name's Sophia. But these tech titans say that robots will help us, play with us, teach us. And the media is referring to these robots as hot and sexy. I'm like, okay, that's not normal. Like, it's sort of creepy to me that you would refer to them as human-like. I mean, that's sort of weird. But, Stephen Hawking, one of the world's most renowned scientists, he warns that artificial intelligence could destroy mankind. And Elon Musk compares it to summoning the demons.
Yeah.
So
now, who needs friends and teachers?
Yeah, we'll have robots taking over everything.
Now, the one thing we discussed earlier when we were having dinner, we're discussing all this, of course, as we do, was, every time you think you're doing something technical and it's great, there's some aspects to this whole thing that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see there's places for this, but that's not where mankind ever stops. They always push it. The more people that are replaced by robots the less work there is, the less people there is, the less of everything there is. And finally, it's just the elite that get to enjoy the works of their labor. And no longer do you need to go to the gas station to even have a tenant anymore.
Right.
You don't need anybody at the convenience store. Now you go to school down the road and you say, well, we're going to get, robotic teachers. It's going to save money because once the robots are built and programmed, you're not paying unions, you're not paying this, you're not doing that, you're not doing this. And also, you're taking out reality. You're making everybody programmed to hear only what the robot's going to teach them. There is going to be no room for anything but what the government wants you and your children to know. Period.
Well, our kids are already turning into robots. I mean, they can't even have a conversation with each other. They've got to text.
They sit next to each other and text.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's bad enough that we've got so much equipment and technology that their faces are in it. Now at school, they're not going to have any interaction with a teacher. It's like, then they're not going to learn respect. I mean, unless it's at home, but the parents are probably too busy on Facebook. The kids are too busy chatting or on their PlayStations, whatever. And I love that stuff too. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not one of those. But what I'm saying is, if we do technology, we're taking away humanity.
We are.
And that's what scares me with all this.
I know we were talking about, I don't know if it's a little bit of a rabbit trail or not, but we were talking about, at dinner we were talking about when I had my shop, when I moved into my shop for my business, I found an old phone book in there from 1955. The phone book was just a business phone book. And our city's about 100,000 people. That phone book at that time in 1955, for the business side of it, was almost 1.5 inches thick. Just business places for business. Now, our local phone book only has about a quarter inch of business pages because we don't have any more work because everybody's either automated, been shipped overseas, or you've got people doing more than one job. Right now I'm a general contractor. I do lots of things. I do plumbing, I do electrical, I do all these different things. Back in the day, that wouldn't have been the word. I mean, everybody had their own set of things that they did. Right. And they were very, very good at
it. Like
them.
You had a plumber, you had
right.
an
and you
electrician.
go back in the day and you get those houses built in the 30s and the 40s. They're built.
They're built
I mean,
good.
the construction is very good because if I'm a guy that tears it apart and I'm looking at this saying, they didn't have the technology and the tools that I have, and this craftsmanship is better than what I can produce.
Yeah.
Because that is all they did. And so what have we done? Oh, it's better, it's quicker. It's quicker and faster is not always better.
Yeah, I know.
It's about people. I mean, so what if we do it the slow way? As long as everybody has a job.
And that's the thing is, we're turning into a lazy
Well, society has made it say,
society.
do more, do faster, do it quicker.
And we don't have time.
If you're not going to do it all, then here's a free cell phone and go sit in a corner and beat your head on the wall with some free drugs.
Yep. Oh, I like that. That's an excellent point, and that's true. Okay, so
rabbit trail.
Okay. But no, I mean, in a way, it's not. In September, okay, the Telegraph magazine wrote an article in the technology news section. It was about how by 2050, human-robot sex will be more common than human-human sex. It's bad enough people don't communicate like they used to. Faces and cell phones, talk
That's
by
one
chat,
way to reduce the population.
Make plans by social media, appearing in high-income houses will be these robots doing their thing, playing a little Barry White, let's get it on. It'll be coming from the robot. He got the CD player in the back of the robot. I mean, come on.
Beep, you sure are looking good. Hot stuff.
I mean, Isn't that's creepy?
Yeah.
And, and their thing is, well, there's people who can't get dates and it won't be as picky. And then they don't, it's like, no, that's
part
sick.
of our reality, though.
That's
sick.
sick.
Part of life is not getting what we want when we want.
And these robots, I mean, I'll put a picture up of one of these sex robots that they have.
They're real.
Whoa, it's fleshy and it's like, ew.
Yeah. Their face movements
and
this is now.
And the thing is, these robots are they're gonna taint our minds, not my minds, because I ain't having sex with a robot.
Well, the problem with the robots is that we're at a stage in society, which I've mentioned before, is that they're able to teach themselves. So you program X amount of information into them, they can begin to use their own programming to program what they need to know.
Yeah, that's just creepy.
They will take over the world, and we will be their slaves.
I don't know. It's creepy.
Oh,
No, there's this one robot, Bina48.
Just put him in the shower and shut him down.
This robot is an artificial intelligence replica of the billionaire Martine Rothblatt's wife. Okay, her name's Bina. So Martine, he's dubbed the trans everything CEO. Martine was born Martin, but he was born a transgender. So at the age of 40, he, I guess, chose Martine and seems to be more female, or he's doing surgery to be more female. So I say he because he was born Martin, and it's just confusing what I'm supposed to call him. Because he's a transgender transhumanist. And they say he's the highest paid female CEO exec ever, which is like, well, it's only female because he chose that. It's not like he really was a female. But, okay, so...
And I'm not going to be judgmental because he's born...
No, I'm just confused what I should call him,
so...
because he doesn't believe that we should have a gender. So that's where I get confused. Not that he's a transgender. It's more I'm confused because he's a transhumanist, which I'll get into. He's a 59-year-old, and he's actually the founder of Sirius Radio, which I absolutely love. Thank you.
Love it.
Love it. And, okay, he also founded the United Therapeutics, which is a big pharmaceutical company. So he's obviously in the big pharma with all the big wigs and God knows who else. He said that genitals are as irrelevant to one's role in society as skin tone. Hence, the legal division of people in males and females the legal division of people into males or females is as wrong. So he's saying we shouldn't be looked at as a male or female. And I'm like, that is almost confusing to me as this whole AI thing. It's like,
well, this whole thing has been going this way for a long time, and they're pushing this and pushing this and pushing this and pushing this about, the males are living with the males, the females living with the females, and it should be accepted, it should be okay, and everything's okay over here. It's not okay. The lion never says, you know what, I'm really tired of having this mane and being a male lion. I don't want to be a male lion anymore. I want to be a female lion. Better yet, you know what? I actually want to be a zebra. It doesn't work that way because God designed it to say, you know what? You are what you are, and His glory is received by you being what you're supposed to be and being the best that you're supposed to be.
And I believe we are all spirits living in physical bodies.
Physical
but when
bodies.
God created us, He created us man and woman. He didn't create us human. He created us man, and then He created women. And
for a distinct
reason.
Purpose.
And I think that's important. If we get away from that purpose, where is humanity in all this?
Yeah,
you can't separate. I mean, you can't combine something that's already.
I can see a lot of
created
advantages to having a robot female.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like what? Maid service.
Maid service. Only get what you want when you want.
Nice.
No lip service. You always got the mute button.
That's what I would like right now.
Zip.
I can mute you right
Go
now.
to the...
No one heard you. No one heard you because I just muted you.
Did you?
I did because I pressed the mute button. I'm in control, so no one heard what you just said.
You just muted me?
Yeah, because he said something very wrong, ladies.
What? What? I would never say anything wrong as far as you know.
Speaking of mute button, I'm in control.
All right, take your little control freak.
So anyways, okay, so he's Martine is well known as a female exec and says, well, I don't need to be female or male or whatever. He does look more male. I don't get all of that. But the point is that he's being recognized as a transhumanist transgender, and he does not want us to be divided between man and woman, and he is leaning towards us not being separated from robots either. So that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah, right.
He's leaning towards flesh being irrelevant too. It's not going to matter if you're born a human or a creation AI. That's stinking scary.
The animal activists are going to have to take a step back because now the robots are going to want their rights.
Oh, God. And that movie, I, Robot, it makes me want to watch that movie
This is great
again.
because now we'll be able to get a robotic dog. Dog will never die.
Oh, they do have robotic animals, pets now too.
Now
so
this is great because they won't have to go clean up poo-poos outside no more.
life, the soul is the life, and if you take away the flesh and the creation of people, you're going to take away the soul, and the soul is what.
Not according to this guy. It's going to be better.
Oh, okay. So Martine refers to these AIs as a sentient robot, which means that they can feel, perceive, and experience through personal instinct. It's like a robot can't have instinct. It's not flesh. Martin says also that it's also an android, which is a synthetic organism, and a gynoid, or what a gynoid is what Austin Powers calls fembot.
These are the latest words in android replicant technology.
Bring in the fembot! I love that. But that's what that is. Also a social robot and a cybernetic companion. Where are the people in this? Why can't you have people companions? What's wrong with people? Why do we have to have robots? I don't get. And, I was thinking, okay, well, you know what? If I had an aunt who was, like, in a wheelchair and she couldn't get out or she had some disease and she had this robot to help her, okay, I get that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
But
that
guys,
also
you
takes,
can find
guess what,
a
you're
date.
just going to eliminate now nursing staff.
There's a good
You
point,
just
right?
keep eliminating the necessity for robots. And then you want less people.
So now
Less
we don't need
population.
nurses. We don't need
We don't need
doctors.
them.
Well, one of my surgeries was done completely by a machine, but the doctor oversaw it. But the doctor didn't even touch me. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
But again, they're like, well,
What do you mean the power went out?
Great. Oh,
Auxiliary? No? No gas in the generator, huh? Crap. I hope she lives.
Well, he's like, well, he made a good point. He goes, well, the computer robot system will not shake. A man's hands will shake. I get that, and that's fine. It's so hard for me to get. People are so valuable in life, and souls and spirits are so valuable, more than people are getting. This is just going to wipe out everything.
It's just another thing.
Oh, it's a huge problem with this is that Martin is currently testing a design to test two theories. Okay, now I had to write this down because it's really confusing, these theories. The theory is the ability to download a person's consciousness into a biological body after combining detailed info about a person with future consciousness software. Okay, consciousness software shouldn't even be in the same sentence. But so what he did was he took his wife. Okay, Martin's married. And he took his wife and he made this bust, a replica, looks just like her. And her name's Bina, so that's why this robot's called Bina 48. And he programmed hundreds of hours of his wife's memories, feelings, and beliefs into this robot. And so now this robot supposedly thinks it feels and has these memories, and it believes it's real.
Oh,
that's creepy. And there's a link. I'm going to put a link up on our website where the wife actually has a conversation with this robot.
I haven't seen this.
No, you haven't. It's very interesting. Oh, I'm just like, something's just so not right about this. So unnatural. So wrong. Now, so Martine, the founder, is also founder of the transhumanist cult called Terra Sim. It's the transhumanist school of thought. Okay, so let's just slow down here and I'll go through this. Transhumanism. It's an international and intellectual movement that aims to transform the human form by developing a sophisticated technology to enhance the human intellect and the physical and psychological capabilities of humans.
So basically take over the world, John Connor style.
Yeah. all robots. This Terrasim says it's all about the coming of age of our own cyber consciousness and techno-immorality. Okay, first of all, there is no techno-immorality because everything breaks. Okay, people die. And there is no cyber consciousness. My consciousness is in my head. It's not cyber. Oh, they're focused on promoting joy. This is what they say. Their cult little Terrasim says that they're focused on promoting joy and diversity and the prospect of technology and morality via mind uploading and geoethical nanotechnology. So they throw in this, we're all about joy and diversity, and then they get into all this stuff that no one knows what they're talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Like it's all technical.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
And by the way, we're going
to go ahead and kill the rest of the humans.
Technical immorality.
So new concepts of humanity that have nothing to do with humanity.
Exactly.
It's all about technology.
Humanity, gone.
Yeah.
Wiped out.
Now, I could see a good purpose for some of that stuff. What if you want to do space exploration?
Okay.
Robotic.
Put them on
Perfect.
Mars. Go send them
there. You
there.
gotta send nobody out in space for years at a time. Let them go.
Right. They don't need to be robot prostitutes
there's a good
and
purpose
friends.
for them.
It's ridiculous.
You want them to go scoot along the bottom of the ocean and check things out so we don't have to go down there. And they can get back to us.
Robots are going to take, like you said, they're going to take away jobs. They're going to take away our...
Well, they have. There's lots of aspects of robotic things.
Car makers,
but, some of it has helped a lot. But overall, it's taken away from humanity having things to do.
Like you said, though, man doesn't know when to stop. They're just going to keep pushing it and making it worse.
It seems as we go through society and everything that's been created, evil has always found a way of using that same device, no matter what it is, as evil.
Because we cannot control ourselves.
We take the internet, for instance. Awesome discovery. Wow. Touch of a finger, find out anything you want to know, reach people you haven't reached before, go places you've never gone.
Love it.
Or problems.
Yeah.
And it's a 50-50 thing. It works both ways.
Right. There's going to be good and evil in everything. But, and again, I think it's good to have a lot of this technology, but on the same point, it's not worth the risk to me. It's not. People can do the same thing. Fine. If you can't do it fast enough, slow down. It's okay. But that's not the way the world is anymore. So, and it's not just the tech world that's stripping us away of our flesh. Biologists just built a piece of software that can program living cells like a computer. What? Okay, so I'm not going to pretend like we understand this all, but God made life. We don't need to be making life playing God.
Isn't this just like a upscale Hitler?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really? Let's just format what we want, exactly how we want them, and what aspects of somebody or something we don't like will change.
Oof.
It's like, here, you take this perfect, let's throw something out there. Let's say you have this, let's just use a guy model so I don't get myself in trouble. Guy model, right?
Uh-huh.
Guy's pretty much perfect.
Okay.
Got a big nose. Everything else about this guy is perfect. Well, let's just make a genetic one and fix the nose. No, he is perfect. Why have imperfection? Crooked teeth. Well, we don't need that. We'll just build one without crooked teeth. Forget that.
Yeah, but one person's perfection is another person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
right.
like
it's our imperfections that sometimes make called unique.
Like Megan Fox, she was absolutely gorgeous, and then she had to go mess up her face and now she's like weird looking.
Yeah, what did she do?
Or Elvis's wife, Priscilla.
Now she's always smiling.
It's weird. It's like, why do you guys gotta?
Everybody had died around you today. She's smiling. Really? I'm sad. Big smile.
So I don't know.
So once they started taking God out of everything, from schools to our government, it was all downhill from there.
I think that's what happened too. Now it's like,
who needs God? You can build your own things.
Now researchers have developed,
and we're on acid, right, Chad?
We're not going to talk about real issues or anything. So these researchers developed this new kind of software that makes it possible to genetically engineer or program a cell to perform any kind of function. Now, they've been doing this since the early 70s. Biologists have been producing custom-made bacteria and other single-cell organisms that can be helpful. Okay, so they're trying to do good. It always starts out that way most of the time, you know.
So, like, we've actually programmed bacteria to produce biofuel and pump out antibiotics. And human insulin has been produced in a genetically modified version of E. coli, or they call it baker's yeast. So we're not saying all this is bad, but how far do you go? How far is too far?
And the cell software is called, I think it's called Cello or Cello. It's a genetic circuit design automation. And they've literally created a programming language for these cells. So
this is getting deep. This is getting
yeah,
complicated.
it's like,
so you're taking a human cell from us, and you're able to program that living cell to do something else.
That's weird.
So you're mixing real with technology.
Uh-huh.
And you're making it work.
Which, I mean, you think back just 20 years ago, we never would have thought this was possible. They may have had it.
Remember the first calculator? Plus, minus, divide, and equals. That's it.
You remember the typewriter? Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I mean,
come on, we got to change the ribbon here. The A sticks.
Or what about pagers? Remember pagers? Everybody loved them. They were the coolest thing. Everybody's like, my kids are like, what's a pager?
Yeah, what's a pager? A record?
Or one of our kids one time said, a few years ago, they said something like, what's an album?
Yeah.
It's like, it's so weird.
Record player. What's that? The first microwave, I remember getting that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Parents, I mean, the thing was huge. It
Yeah.
just had a big dial. That's it. On or it was off. Period.
And they had boom boxes. Huge boom boxes. They were
400 pounds of batteries you had to carry around. It
Big
lasted
D
like
battery.
2 hours, remember?
I loved
dead.
it. Or when the first headphones came out, they were huge. I had my first pair of these big yellow pair, and I'd put them on and just walk around for hours listening to the radio. It was like, now look how far we've come. Yeah. People are putting recorders in their weaves.
You almost don't even have time to enjoy some of the technology, because by the time you get your technology and you've experienced it for 4 or 5 months or whatever, the guy down around the corner has got something better than you.
Right.
It's like you didn't have time to enjoy or even maybe totally figure out your device. And it's like, what do you mean it's outdated? There's something better already.
Well, and people don't enjoy what they have already either. I mean, we've got all these cool things, but no one has time to do them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's weird.
This whole cell thing, though, so we slowed down a little bit because this even took me back a little bit, trying to understand. You take something living that's real and alive, a cell, a part, and you're going to mix technology with it to have it do what you want it to do.
Well, the team that's working on it says they want it to be as simple as programming a computer. But I can't even update or defrag my computer without making a problem. And these people want to program cells. It's like, whoa, it's way beyond my, I could write, I can write a book, I can cook, I can stuff my own turkey, but these people are doing things that I can't even wrap my head around.
Funny though, these same people that can do this can't do
that.
The things that you did.
They don't have to. They're so rich they can pay for people.
When their toilet plugs up, they're like, oh my God, what do we do?
Yeah, so
But they'll get a robot to do it.
Oh yeah.
The robot to do it. They'll get the plunger. Or they're, never mind.
Okay, basically what they're going to do is they want to input instructions in these cells, what kind of promoter they want to use, and how you want this program to run. And it will spit out a sequence for a DNA strand in the bacteria. It creates DNA. And the biologists can then take these custom-made strands and use them to add external DNA into the complete set of genes, creating the ideal cell. Whoa.
Which creates eventually the human.
Life. That's creepy.
Human, dog, cat.
Oh, it just seems so unnatural and so forced, so mechanical and soulless. I
wonder what the Bible says. The book of Romans says, God will give us up to our vile affections, and warns us about the last days. People will be without understanding, without natural affection, and don't be proud of unusual affection.
I think, when we read this many years ago, before we even thought about this.
That's not the level we thought.
Right. I was thinking other things, like there's people who want to marry their dogs and stuff like that.
That's unnatural. That fits.
Right, and that fits. But now we're getting to a level of unnatural that I never comprehended.
Right.
And it's that's what's going to happen. It's going to become so easy.
Well, the thing is that if you, and some of these pictures and things that are on these robots, this chick, Bina
48, yeah.
She's so real that there's no reason that you couldn't develop a real relationship with her. But the problem is, it's not a real relationship. It is unnatural because it is a program.
Yep.
Although it's been programmed to identify that it is feeling or observing or doing whatever, it's really not.
It's going to mess up people's minds.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have like robot activists come out saying you have to give Bina her rights.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, she feels too. She's programmed to feel.
Does Bina get the right to vote? She has an opinion. She has thoughts.
Oh,
Can Bina vote? Why can't Bina vote? Before Bina can do everything else, why can't Bina vote?
And then you're not.
Then what happens? There's some guy sitting in a command center in Washington going, boop, you will vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Boop, you will vote Republican.
Well,
you will kill everybody in your neighborhood. Beep.
And then you just think about the obvious, too. What if it malfunctions? Or what if it does do something like in the video that we are going to put the link up to where it says it will destroy all humans? Who's to say that someone doesn't somehow program this computer to go kill its neighbor? It wasn't my fault. It was the computer.
Who are you going to blame?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's just endless. What the different things about this. It's just so wrong and so unnatural.
Okay, so we want to hear from you guys listening out there. What do you guys think of all this? Are you okay with it? Are you excited about it? I mean, we have opinions, and this isn't conspiracy. This is facts. And we're going to give you the information to look it up, research it yourself, and find out, and then, and so we're not exactly acid tripping. We're giving you some facts. Don't like what you want to hear? Oh, well, don't listen.
Or are you guys freaked out like me, though? Or maybe you're just blasé about it. You don't really care. So
Blasé? That's French?
Yeah, blasé. French toast. So are we being melodramatic? Like, especially if you guys listening are like big data gurus or you're analytical or science software savvy tech titans. We want to hear from you guys, too. What are your thoughts? We want to know the pros and cons on AI in your view.
Yeah.
Because we don't...
Maybe we're not looking at some things that people say, oh, wait a minute. But
yeah,
for me... I do understand, like, robotic surgeries. Some of those things are done much better robotically than
until you just said that there's going to be a power failure. That freaks me out.
No, there's plenty of backups. But the point is there are some technical things, like with the human body and trying to, help with the surgery. It's like, you know what, this robot can do it better because there is no shaking. There is no fat finger.
Right.
There is no, I need to see in my eyes 10 times better down in this area that I cannot see, but that robot can. So there's some things.
Yeah.
But then got those robotic cars on. These cars are driving themselves.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't.
And they're driving themselves. It's like, what happened? Humans need... This is part of life to get into drive. It's part of a pleasure.
Well, if they take this away, we're never going to learn anything. We're not going to need to. All we're going to need to know is...
We have our phone.
But what about rich people are the only people that are going to be able to afford these robots?
Better start thinking about Soylent Green. People go back to the 60s, Charlton Heston.
Good movie.
Watch the movie Soylent Green, because it may be reality.
So if you guys email us your comments on this show and your thoughts, we will read the good ones on our next show.
And the bad ones, we might read one of those too.
Or a couple, because those are fun too.
Yeah. Acid tripping Chad, yeah.
All right, so now it is time for a Rock and Reject segment.
Right about now, you're about to be possessed. Rock. Hit it.
All right, I'm going to do rocks tonight. This is so cool. So there is this girl, and it's a YouTube video, and I'm going to put the link out. I am going to play a clip from it because it's so funny. So, okay, this girl goes to get her wisdom teeth out, and, if you have your wisdom teeth out, you get pretty drugged up. And while she's done, her family and friends come up with this whole plan to make her think that there is a zombie apocalypse taking place. And they go all out for this thing. It is so funny. So I'm going to play a clip and so you can hear. This whole thing, the whole part of what rocks about this is more people need to pull pranks like this because this is hilarious.
We can only take one pet. Which pet? The cat or the dog?
The cat! You idiot!
Okay.
No!
What do we do with the dog?
He's the worst! He's already dying! Just leave him!
Okay,
Get the cat!
I got the cat.
Please.
Mom said we're leaving the dog.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Dad said that since he's in Las Vegas, that he's close to Mexico and he wants us to meet him in Mexico. How good is your Spanish still from high school?
I can say pants.
This video is so funny. Her reactions, and she's so drugged up, and they're loading the car with things that to save from the zombie apocalypse.
It was a part for the dog for me. It was like
the dog's
like,
dying.
The dog's dying anyway.
Leave him, idiot! You idiot! What are you thinking? Mom says we're gonna leave the dog. Okay. Oh, it's a great video. So that's my rock because I think people need to play more clips like that.
It was fun. Nobody gets hurt.
Cranks.
So.
Oh
man.
Okay, you can do the reject.
Okay, what's the reject? Well, we've heard of road rage, right? What about potty rage? A 42-year-old man in Los Angeles wasn't able to get into the Jack in the Box bathroom because, imagine that, someone else was using it.
Imagine that.
There's more than one person that has to call a duty. Well, he was so mad, he rammed his car into the restaurant twice. The customer who was currently occupying the latrine facility was Bill Correa. He said this potty rage man was banging on the door like crazy, and Bill said he was not about to come out. So, like what any average person would do, not. The guy got into his car, pulled it out of the parking lot, and drove across the street. Then sped up across 5 lanes and rammed head-on into the front door of the Jack in the Box. Then, of course, left his car, walked back into the restaurant nonchalantly. Point made, idiot. Okay, but it didn't end there. That wasn't enough.
There's more.
So the guy decides again to bang on the bathroom door. This time, he's shouting a woman's name.
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah. Then he reportedly got back into his car, drove around the building, and rammed into it again. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The bladder rammer will be charged with assault with a deadly weapon.
You're not safe anywhere. Not even in the guest or Jack in the Box bathroom.
Next time, think. What you doing in there? Why don't you give somebody else a chance, would you?
That's just crazy. All right, so next week we're going to be talking about dangers and realities of ghost hunting shows and the paranormal influence on kids. Are they good, bad? And we are going to discuss some issues on those things.
But remember, until next week, for light to shine bright, darkness must be present. Choose this day who you will serve.
This world's a tortured place to be. So many things to torment me. And as I stumble down this road, it takes a toll. I need an intervention. But I can see it coming. Some things just can't be explained.
And that's all, folks.